mandala. Who wants to say the mandala?
I can say it in Spanish.
Excellent. Say it in Spanish.
Okay, so you try, you in your mind, you're in English.
Yes.
Okay. Aquí está la gran tierra cubierta de un manto de flores, impregnada de un aroma incienso, la gran montaña, los 4 continentes, adornados con las joyas del sol y la luna. En mi mente los convierto en un paraíso de Budas y lo ofrendo todo a ti. Y que por esta noble acción que todos podamos habitar en una tierra pura. Idam Guru Ratnamandala Kamiryatayami. Tomo refugio.
That sounds much better in Spanish than it does in English. Okay, I need to turn my, volume up a little. Okay, now refuge. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create, from the practice of, giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create, from the practice of, giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create, from the practice of, giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, I will attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. Okay, this class is going to be a little bit short because of my anniversary, and I'm having a particularly bad day with my tremor. So if you see me shaking, I am shaking. It's not your camera. But thank you all for your best wishes for my anniversary. I appreciate it. We're haven't done anything special yet. I made special brownies. I made sweet potato brownies. It sounds kind of disgusting, but they actually taste pretty good, especially if you put lots of chocolate icing on them. So I perfected a dark chocolate icing that goes on really nice and smooth and then hardens. And it's really nice on a brownie. Okay, so we're going to go to rejoicing. And I always start with the left-handmost upper window, and that happens to be a young lady surrounded by yellow flowers. Go ahead, Jackie. What do you have to rejoice in?
Rejoicing that we have so many beautiful friends joining us in this class and to celebrate your anniversary, your devotion and care to each other. And I wish to share the joy of a headlamp that we've had some fun with, walking around with a very small little headlamp that's nice and light to go in a suitcase. And the joy of the safety of being able to take care of both of us, my husband and I, when we're walking, to make sure that my husband can see the path clearly and put his focus, make the focus towards his view of making sure that he can go through the path smoothly and safely. And may every living being put others' needs first before their own.
Very good. Very good. And by doing that, by securing and making sure your husband's safe, you're setting the seeds for all beings as well as yourself to be safe in the future. And that's the whole point of what we're doing. Okay, next would actually be me, but I'm going to wait till the end. So Tina, what do you have to rejoice in?
I'm rejoicing that now I'm here online with you and can listen to the 4 powers and go on my way to understand emptiness. And may all living being understand from where the things come from and go ahead all over their obstacles and don't stop till they achieved their ultimate goal.
Wow, that pretty much good. Okay, class is over. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, Natalia.
Hello, thank you so much. I'm Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Хорошо. Okay, so I'm rejoicing. I started studying for Korean interpreter, and it's a course for interpreters from English to Russian. And it's very happy that I can plan this wonderful. I'm already doing interpretations to Bulgarian, but it's good to have the course to learn a lot more.
well, you're guaranteeing you'll have language, you'll have the teachings in your language no matter what down the road. I have a particular thing to rejoice about with Bulgaria, but I'll get to that. Okay, Sheila, we'll start with Katya because you're on the left.
Okay, I want me, Katya,
Yeah.
to rejoice that I have a super cool sister that she's always helping me with my studies, and she always support me and take care of me, and she's very lovely with me, and I dedicate it so that all people can have someone to share with.
Well, you're turning red, Sheila.
Yes.
Very good. Well, that's setting in the future to be appreciated and have the kind of things you need when you need them. So very good. Very good. I'm turning my volume up a little bit here. Okay, Sheila.
I also rejoiced to my sister, Katya, and no, I want to share with all of you that on August, my sister and I we are going to go with my father to run the Sydney Marathon. So I am very excited because we are going to train in family and we are going to do these 42 kilometers with my father.
Now, are you going to go at his pace or is he going to leave you in the dust?
I will be in the finish line.
Well, that's really sweet. Is he looking forward to it?
Yes,
Good. Whose idea was it?
my
My
father.
father.
Oh, he's training secretly. He's going to leave you in the dust. So that's
No.
what day is it? Is the race?
It's the 28th of August, I think. No,
Of August. Oh, you've got a ways to go. Now you're coming to the teachings in August?
we are trying to come.
We are not sure because we have that trip, but we are trying to go to Romania or Armenia, but we are not sure.
Where's the marathon going to be again?
In Sydney.
Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, you'll have a chance to see, well, Jackie's in Canberra, so I guess the chances of you visiting her in Canberra may be small, but well, that's pretty exciting. Excellent. Okay, Svetlana, you're up next.
Hello there, Venerable Sumati. I'd like to rejoice that I'm trying to. Okay. Yeah.
Translation thing going, I think.
Yes. Hello there, Venerable Sumati. Congratulations with your sweet
There we go.
49th anniversary. Congratulations. Hello, everyone. I'd like to rejoice that I'm trying to meditate by mornings before going to work, and I have 15 minutes meditation with timer. So I'm putting efforts to have this discipline of meditation practice, and I dedicate it that everyone can have perfect meditation practice and can see emptiness directly.
Very good. I admire your taking on and get the habit going in the morning, and pretty soon your morning will rotate around the fact that you're meditating. So very good. Anastasia, you're up for rejoicing.
Светлана, получится перевести, помочь? Спасибо. Всем доброго.
Hello, everyone. Good day. I am happy to be in this class. We have some time difference. I sincerely happy and grateful that I am in this class, and thanks to Svetlana, I can listen to the translation of today and implement this knowledge in our life and help others. And I am very grateful for this class and translation.
Well, we're happy to have you here, and I hope the translation, I hope I don't speak too quickly. And then there's Cornelia. I haven't seen Connie in a long time.
Yes, hello. Thank you very much, Venerable Sumati. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I rejoice in your goodness and the teachers before you, because you take the time to teach us. And so I rejoice in you. And yes, that's
Well,
all.
you're welcome. And I'm not, oh, there, look at who's this young person?
This is Maximilian. Maximilian
That's
Schappel.
Maximilian. Wow.
Yeah.
You
Thanks
must
so
have
much.
you must have been feeding him something.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. Okay, next on my screen is, I don't know how to pronounce the Cyrillic name.
Galina.
Galina. Okay, Galina, what do you have to rejoice in?
Здравствуйте, дорогой Лама Сумати.
Hello there, hello there, Lama Sumati. I just came from the class with my group where we were reading Sutra of the Golden Light. We are doing it more than 40 days every day at 9 p.m. At Kiev time. And also today Lyd had a wonderful day filled with peace in mind, and I was sharing knowledge about Dharma, and it is filling me with great joy, and I want to share it with you. And I'm incredibly grateful to you that you are teaching us to rejoice about everything that is happening with us. I'm heartfully grateful to you.
Well, you're welcome. I'm glad you find it inspiring and fun to do, and we'll try and make sure it stays that way. Then there's, last but not least, there's Becky. Oops, there's Claudia. Well, go ahead, Becky. Can you talk?
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. I rejoice for being here in person instead of the recording. And I miss you, Lama Sumati.
Well, I
It's so
miss
nice
you.
to see you.
It's
Sorry, I
good to
didn't mean to
see you.
interrupt you.
Can you talk okay? Is your jaw feeling better?
Yeah, I will rejoice that I get to talk today.
Well, good. We rejoice and you're rejoicing, that we rejoice that you rejoice.
Thank you. And I want to
Yeah.
also rejoice that I get to wish you a happy anniversary.
Well, thank you.
And that I got to hear Sheila say the mandala in Spanish, and that I get to see all the beautiful Dharma friends. And I am really emotional because I miss you. I love you, Lama Sumati. Okay,
Well, I
I'm gonna
love
stop
you
talking
too.
now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Claudia, do you have anything to rejoice in? Or not? Okay, we'll pass on Claudia. So I get to rejoice now. I rejoice that I've been married for 49 years to an absolutely wonderful, inspiring woman who makes me feel good every day I see her. And I'm just, she brings out the best in me. And that's something that's I treasure. And she's putting up with my Parkinson's very well. Um, it sounds off, maybe awful to say that, but people don't think of the caregiver, the other side of the coin on something like Parkinson's. And she's done very well encouraging me to do my exercises and stand up straight. I'm battling now bad posture that comes with Parkinson's, and I have exercises I do every morning except Sunday to try and get my posture back to where I want it to be. So then the other rejoicable involves a young lady that's on the screen with us today. The Bulgarian translation for the Book of Lists has been completed and is in my hands, and I'm going to try and put it up on the screen, the computer today or certainly by tomorrow. And I gave that to her to do in June last year. But that's not the issue. The issue is it's done and it's going to be up on the site. I'm very, very excited by that. That's really, and I know it was hard, and I appreciate that you got it done. Okay. Well, as I said, today's class is the beginning, kind of an overview of the 4 powers of purification. So I'm going to try sharing my screen, and we're going to go through this. We'll see how it works. So I'm sharing my screen now. You all see the 4 powers of purification? Yes? Thumbs up, you see the screen? No? Katya,
Yes.
really, do you see? You do, okay. Okay, so the review of the 4 powers of purification. If you believe in karma, you know that your past deeds are what determine your present circumstances, and very importantly, your current acts will determine your future, as well as the leftover past deeds from past lives. So, the 4 powers of purification, or the 4 opponent forces, as they're also known, are the critical practice for those who believe in karma and future life, because it is a powerful method, the only method to get rid of old bad karma. But wait a minute, what about the 4th law of the 4 laws of karma? So let's review that for just a second. Let me get my cursor where I need to get it. So the first question is, what is karma? Is that too small? You can read that? What is karma? Who can give me the definition of karma?
May I
Movement.
share?
Fine.
Go ahead, Jackie.
Sheila, you started speaking first.
Okay, Sheila.
The movement of the mind and the result of this movement.
Right. So we often think, and I harp on this a lot, but it's not simply the action of body and speech, it's the movement of the mind. So I get in trouble because I think I get mad at myself with my various tremors and having trouble using my computer or cooking. Believe me, you don't know how much fun it is to try and sprinkle salt on a recipe if you've got a tremor and you're doing this. That's a lot of salt. But anyway, so movement of the mind. So getting mad at myself but not saying anything is better than saying something, but it's still movement of the mind. So I'm getting mad. And if I consider myself a bodhisattva, which I try to do, then I'm getting mad at a bodhisattva. And that has implications with my root of virtue. But we'll get to that in a bit. It turns out, from what I've been able to understand in the scripture, you have to get really, really mad at a bodhisattva to destroy a root of virtue. Just being annoyed with the person doesn't do it. So I'm just annoyed with myself. So I haven't self-destroyed my root of virtue. Okay, so the first law. That's our definition. First law is actions are certain to produce similar consequences. What's the second law? Jackie, second law?
You must plant a seed to get a result.
No, we're looking for consequences that are greater than the action. So now, Pabonka Rinpoche talks about a doubling every 24 hours. I've looked long and hard and have talked to several geshes about this. And in the sutras, I have yet to find in the sutra where it says it doubles every 24 hours. I've found lots of indications that it increases. I'm not saying Pabonka Rinpoche is wrong. I think he's using the example of a doubling every 24 hours to say it is increasing all the time. So even a little deed done with ignorance, a small deed, I can't think of one right now, swatting at a mosquito, that's going to ripen, that's going to increase in power down the road to maybe a very windy day or something. You just don't really know. So the point is, it doubles every 24 hours or it increases with time. Okay, next is one cannot meet a consequence if you've not committed the action. That'd be more along the lines of what Jackie was saying. So you can't take on someone else's karma. You can take on their pain, which is not the same as taking on their karma, in my opinion. And the last one, once an action is committed, the consequences cannot be lost. So this is the fourth law. And what's the point of the powers of purification if the fourth law is true? Well, if you really study this carefully, it's once an action is committed, the consequences cannot be lost, in parentheses, except through the use of the four powers, close parentheses. So there are three exceptions to this fourth law. The first one, anger directed towards the bodhisattva destroys your root of virtue. So any good karma you've generated can be destroyed, and the consequences will not be met if you get mad at a bodhisattva. But like I said, you have to get really, really mad. Just getting annoyed doesn't invoke this. So what's the next? Total rejection of karma and emptiness destroys your root of virtue. Now, this is an interesting one because if you've ever heard yourself say, it's my karma, but you're basically saying you don't believe in the laws of karma. I personally don't take it to mean that. It's an ignorant thing to think, but this means you look in the mirror or you say to someone who believes in karma and emptiness that you don't anymore. You think it's silly, and they're silly for believing in karma and emptiness. That's the total rejection. So hopefully none of you will ever be in that circumstance. The third one is the four powers of purification. They destroy old bad karma, or can destroy. Whoops. So before we go to this, I would like to read you a very short sutra that Lord Buddha wrote about the four powers. So if this is true, if the four powers is true, when or where did he teach it? Well, Lord Buddha taught this. I don't have where he taught it, but he taught this short sutra. So please close your eyes and listen carefully. An exalted sutra on the greater way entitled The Teaching of the Four Practices. It comes from the Kangyur, a collection of Lord Buddha's teachings translated into Tibetan from Sanskrit. I will try to read this slowly, Svetlana. I bow down to each and every enlightened being and to every bodhisattva. One time I heard the Buddha give this teaching. The conqueror was staying among the worldly gods of the land of the 33, at the great gathering place of the gods known as excellence. Together with him was a great gathering of 500 monks, along with a mass of great bodhisattvas, such as Loving One and Gentle Voice. And the conqueror spoke the following word to that great bodhisattva, Loving One. O Loving One, if a great bodhisattva keeps four practices, then he or she can never be overwhelmed by bad deeds that they have both committed and collected. And what are these four practices? They are the activity of destruction, the activity of an antidote, the power of restoring, and the power of the foundation. Here, the activity of destruction refers to having many regrets about a negative deed that you have committed. The activity of an antidote refers to making great efforts in positive deeds, despite the fact that one has performed a negative action. The power of restoring refers to making a commitment to restrain yourself and then succeeding in restraining yourself. The power of the foundation means never giving up the act of taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the community, and never giving up the wish for enlightenment. Any person who maintains these kinds of powers can never be overwhelmed by a negative deed that they may have done. O Loving One, any great bodhisattva who keeps these four practices can, rather, overwhelm any negative deed they may have committed and collected. You, great bodhisattvas, should always read this sutra. Recite it out loud as well. Think upon its meaning. Meditate upon it, and then repeat this over and over. If you do, then whatever harmful things you might have done in the past will never be able to bear its fruit. And thus did the conqueror speak. And then the great bodhisattva, Loving One, and all the monks, and all the bodhisattvas, and all the divine youths, 100 gifts and the like, and all the rest of the assembly present took joy in what the conqueror had spoken, and sang the praises of his words. I believe we'll be sending this out with my teaching notes to you, so you don't have to take notes in class. But I think that's a lovely little sutra that says very straightforwardly what to do. It doesn't explain much on how it works, but that's my job. So committed and collected refers to those karmas that are certain to be experienced. Other references are found in some reading. I don't know if I will send the readings to you at the end of the next class because I'd like you to not read first. A thorough study of karma is beyond the time frame we have here, but very quickly, the 4 steps for collecting negative karma. Let's see, I believe I have that on a slide. You misunderstand the object, you think it exists independent of your projections. That's how we normally go through the day, thinking that. Even when we understand karma and emptiness, we find ourselves saying it's my karma but instead of my karma so. By misunderstanding the object, you want the object or you want to avoid it. You're willing to do something unethical to get it, and this is often by habit. You collect the bad karma and it'll be waiting like a bomb of suffering in the future. So that's how you collect negative karma. If step number 1 isn't present, you can't collect the bad karma. So obviously, not being ignorant of how karma and emptiness work is very helpful and powerful. So the 4 steps for collecting positive karma: understand the object, which is the ripening of past seeds. Know it comes from karma and your projections. Giving it to others is what brings it to you. And then by doing these first 3 steps, you collect the virtue. What else did I want to say about that? The need for us to remove our old bad karma and to do so as quickly as possible is eloquently expressed by Pabonka Rinpoche in his gift to liberation and thrust into our hands. The fact that people like you and I are constantly unable to reach any new spiritual realizations, and the fact we are forced to watch whatever realizations we already have slip away, is all caused by our negative actions and the spiritual blockage that bring. So, the 4 powers were taught originally in a different order than what we usually teach in the ACI courses. Let's see, I think I've got that as a list here. The original order was destruction force, the regret, the antidote force, the remedy, restraint force, restraining, and the foundation force, refuge and bodhicitta. Chezon Kapa changed the order in his ritual for the purification of bad deeds. And he says the foundation force, refuge and bodhicitta comes first, then the power of destruction or regret, then the power of restraint, and the power of the antidote. Foundation force, refuge and bodhicitta. The power of foundation refers to taking refuge in bodhicitta and practicing as a bodhisattva. By remembering refuge and emptiness and bodhicitta, the wish to help others, you reestablish the correct motivation as your foundation, as the ground and basis of your behavior. In our lineage, we talk about once you've fallen down, if you've ever fallen down on something really soft and squishy, it's hard to get back up. You need something solid to push yourself back up so you can get back to the basics. taking refuge in the three jewels and reinstating your belief in karma and emptiness. What does taking refuge mean? If you believe that the three jewels, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, can actually provide you with protection against rebirth in lower realms, it must be a sincere, heartfelt feeling, not just recitation. So I was at a meeting once, and a lady came into the meeting. This was at lunch, and she said, "Look what I got! I got a protection cord from some monks at the farmers market earlier this morning. It's going to protect me from any bad thing happening to me." And she was talking about it like a piece of armor. And I look at a refuge. I've got the cord from Barcelona still on my left wrist. And I look at the cord, and I don't think it's going to protect me from a car hitting me. That's silly. It protects me by reminding me every time I see it on my wrist. I remember karma and emptiness, the three jewels, all my well, not everything I've been taught, but much of what I've been taught in my Buddhist studies. That's the protection as far as I can see it. So when someone says, what's that cord? And you say it's a protection cord, and they say, oh, does it protect you from getting hit by a car? You say, no, fool. No, you don't say that. You say, it reminds me of how I'm trying to live my life. And that's the protection I need and want to have so that I can help others live a productive and spiritual life. So really keep that in mind. When we really understand karma and emptiness are two sides of the same coin, then we will strive to do only good deeds for others and ourselves, and not even do the tiniest bad deed. When something bad is happening to you, realize it's coming from your past bad deeds, it's empty, and that you can change it to good deeds in the four powers. It's not easy, but it can be done. So, for instance, I've said this more than once, and this morning I woke up and thought, again, this could be the morning I'm cured of Parkinson's. How fun that would be to go to my neurologist and say, I don't have Parkinson's anymore. Didn't happen, but it could. It will. At some point, I will have run out of the seeds. Now, when we do rejoicing, this is a little bit off the subject, but when we do rejoicing for me is really bringing back into your peace of mind at that moment the fact that you understand karma and emptiness. You rejoice in the fact that you know by not doing a bad deed, by doing only good deeds, your life is going to get better and better. And very important, the fact that, for instance, so you say, well, Sumati, you're not over your Parkinson's yet. Isn't that discouraging? Every day that I don't get mad at my Parkinson's, every day that I accept that it's coming from a past deed, is every day burning off more and more seeds. I haven't burnt them all off or I'd be cured, but it could and it will happen at some point. I'm not sure these seeds could will probably follow me through my next life, unless I try very hard now not to get mad or not to blame anybody else. When I get mad at myself for having Parkinson's or my tremor, I'm mad at me. I'm not mad at whoever. I don't think it's someone giving me Parkinson's or making me have Parkinson's. The only person that made me have Parkinson's is me, period. So when you're trying, for instance, a dear friend of mine is trying to find a partner and hasn't found one yet all these years, she often gets discouraged because she hasn't found one yet. And I just keep thinking to myself, I don't say it to her because she knows this, that you need to keep burning the seeds off. Okay. So we have destruction force, the foundation force, the destruction force, the regret of an intelligent Buddhist. So what does that mean? That's the regret that you know that what you did is going to ripen with a bad result, unpleasant result in the future if you did a bad deed. And conversely, you know if you picked up that piece of garbage instead of walking by it, you held the door open for somebody, you didn't interrupt when you really wanted to say something to prove a point, you didn't interrupt, that's another good positive thing. Oh, I forgot the refuge and bodhicitta in the first foundation. The second part of the foundation is bodhicitta. And I like to make sure people remember that it's a little confusing in the ACI courses because we teach it in multiple ways. The definition of bodhicitta, the strict definition to my understanding, is the wish for enlightenment. Now, we talk about enlightenment as a Mahayana enlightenment, which is the wish to become enlightened for the benefit of all others. But there's the enlightenment of a self-made Buddha, there's an enlightenment of a listener, and those are enlightenment in terms of reaching nirvana and not being reborn in samsara, which is wonderful. It's probably a very nice thing to have happen, but it's not total enlightenment. But the definition, Manjushri's definition, is total enlightenment, but he's speaking from a Mahayana perspective. And the reason I continually mention this is it confused the bless out of me when I saw that this multiple use of the term bodhicitta, and confused me when I heard there was enlightenment and total enlightenment. It seemed to me if you're going to become enlightened, you're totally enlightened. Well, it depends on your definition of enlightenment. Enlightenment, total enlightenment is obviously the enlightenment for the benefit of all others. And it's very different than just reaching nirvana. Well, I shouldn't say just reaching nirvana. I could be so lucky. So, regret, the intelligent regret of an educated Buddhist. Catching yourself saying to yourself, it's my karma, so, instead of it's my karma, but instead of saying it's my karma, so. And I bet you if you took the time, well, here's a homework for you. Try and catch yourself, try and remember, write down when you got an instance of, well, it's my karma, but during the week. And if it's okay, if you have a lot of them, that means you're taking a look at your life. If you're like Katya and Sheila, you have none to worry about. So when do I catch it? How do I catch myself? I'm trying to think of the one thing. Well, often I open the dishwasher and it's full of dishes I have to empty, and my wife hasn't done the dishes, she's just stuck them in the dishwasher. So I think she should empty the dishwasher. But don't share that with her because I've never said that to her. She'll look at me and go, wrong. Just because you cooked and made all the dirty dishes doesn't mean you're free of having to take them out of the dishwasher. So at first you'll think you're doomed, but then as you succeed in catching yourself, you can see that it's the ultimate game. That's how I look at this. I look at this as an ultimate game. And I can either get good at it or I can ignore it and not do well. And I don't want to have that happen. So what are the remaining? There's the power of regret, the power of restraint, this is where I say, don't promise you never, Dave Samadhi, don't get mad. Don't say you'll never get mad at somebody you're driving by that's on their cell phone or on a tablet, because that's just simply not going to be the case. Now, I could say, I'm never going to drink alcohol to get drunk, and that's legitimate because I haven't been drunk in, wow, let me see, when's the last time I got drunk? I don't think, well, I did it camping a couple of times, but I haven't drunk. In fact, this is actually an interesting story. I may have told this to you before. I was writing my first book, and I went to a lieutenant's house and interviewed him about his time in the program. And he offered me, I had taken my 5 lifetime layperson vows and I was not drinking alcohol. And he gave me a non-alcoholic beer. Well, I assumed a non-alcoholic beer meant there was no alcohol. Well, a non-alcoholic beer just means the alcohol level is below a certain amount of alcohol to make it alcoholic, which is government speak for silly. But I mean, if it's non-alcoholic, it's non-alcoholic. But so I took a drink, a gulp from the beer, and I felt a tingle run through my body because I haven't had any alcohol in so long that my body was very sensitive to it. So if just the mere little amount that was in that one swallow of a non quote unquote alcoholic beer gave me a tingle, what's to say what would happen with a full strength beer or liquor? So that's my example of, if you think, well, I can have a drink, it doesn't really bother me. Well, it may not bother you, but it is doing something. If that's a response your body gives, then just think what a massive amount. I never drank straight alcohol like bourbon or scotch. I was in an interesting situation with my first book. I was at a very high up executive in one of the companies who I'd gotten to know pretty well. We were getting ready to go to the barbecue. They took me to a barbecue in Texas, which, believe me, doesn't offer much in the way of, back then, didn't offer much in the way of vegetarian food. I had a couple of baked potatoes and took a lot of ribbing for it. But he served me three fingers of scotch is 3 fingers. That's what I mean when I say 3 fingers of scotch. That's how much you put in a glass. Well, he poured it and handed it to me, and I said, "Gentlemen, I don't drink, so don't waste this good alcohol on me." And they said, "Okay." They took it and gulped it down. Okay, then the last one is antidote. We're going to go through these all in much more detail next week and the week after. Um, the remedy. And the remedy, the most powerful remedy, is to think about and meditate on emptiness. Another one is to, well, let's see, I should have, I forgot about my PowerPoint. Well, we'll leave that. So there are 5. There's reciting holy names. So that'd be like the 35 Buddhas practice. There's making zatzas, those little plaster Paris figures, or drawing, painting a tanka. That's 2. There's studying emptiness. That's 3. There's practicing and meditating on emptiness. What's the 4th one? The 5th one. studying emptiness, meditating on emptiness, painting, doing the Buddhas. Well, we'll discuss that next week. Like I said, today was not a particularly good day for me. So I wasn't kidding when it was a short class. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay, so your homework for this week is to catch yourself saying it's my karma but mentally instead of it's my karma so. And be willing, you don't have to share it with the class if you don't want to, but I've always found it to be very liberating to remind yourself and sort of confess how you can rationalize not doing something or doing something because of your karma or a lack of karma. Okay. Well, again, thank you for your kind thoughts about our anniversary. And let's do the dedication. Let's see, what dedication do I want to read? May the source of benefit and goodness, the Dharma, spread and expand. May the beings upholding the Dharma have excellent health. May the source of happiness and well-being for all embodied beings, the Dharma taught by the Buddhas, always increase. Through this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of Guru Buddha so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhi mind, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. Okay, well, that's it for today. Tina, good to see you. I hope we'll see you next week. Of course, everybody else, it's great to see all of you. Say hi to your lovely husband, Cornelia.
Hi.
Okay. We'll see you next week.
Take care, dear Lam Samati. Thank you for being here and sharing your time when you're not feeling as 100% as you would like to feel.
Well, you're welcome. Okay. Bye-bye.
Lots of love. Have a beautiful rest of the celebration.
Well, I hope to. Now, what do I need to do here?